Hi, I'm Elizabeth Drew, and I write children's books. I got started because I am a mother of a medically special needs fragile child, and she didn't speak for probably first 5, 6 years of her life. And one of the things she always said was, "Are you happy?" And if you were to say yes or "Are you happy?" she wouldn't respond to anything. That's all she would say was, "Are you happy? Are you happy?" And I was just like, I've always been a writer and passionate about it, but I never had the urge to really deliver the message. And then I was like, I gotta let people know that she's more than just this kid, this shell of a kid. And it just started moving people. I watched everyone in the community react to her being, "Are you happy?" And it just generated immediately you can't not be happy when a little girl's asking you that. So I just took that upon myself and I was like, I gotta get this message out. And I just started from there. And then probably for about 6 months, I just buried myself and started writing and writing and writing. And I pumped out about 15 children's books right now. I actually do all the illustration myself as well. The books are kind of generated for our younger kids, 6 to 8. It's just been so fun just engaging with the community and sharing, the difference in kids and whatnot. This is this is what got me started. This is Are You Happy? And, it's just a simple little book. She goes throughout the day. She's talking to people, to the community, and it's really fun. I've been doing all kinds of these. And so all the illustrations I do myself as well. So this is all inspired. Every book that I've written to is inspired by something that's happened in my life. Like this one is The Piano Boy. My husband is just full on musician, all can play almost every instrument and just fills the house with joy and music. So, just little things like that I just kind of took and ran with them. And, all my books always are uplifting, happy, positive, a good simple kids book. So my daughter has a rare form of epilepsy. It's called PCDH19, and it's also given her disabilities in learning and speaking. She requires oxygen when she has the seizures. So that was what kind of helped, not helped, but also gave me the opportunity to write is because I'm her full-time caretaker. So, it was also part of the thing. I got to do something else, besides just this. And so it was just a great, opportunity to use this and also to show her, like, hey, hun, it's okay. We're going to get through this together. Look what mommy can do while we're here together. And, it's just been, it's just a special moment that we can have. And, um, so when I'm taking care of her and stuff, if something happens or she'll say something cute, I love to just kind of jot it down and try to remember it for later because like I said, it was just she's just really started talking this year. She's 10 now. And so, um, it's just really crazy to see the growth in her, especially because now I actually do homeschool her since I started doing the books. I was like, you know what, I feel like I can help her a little bit more. I see what's going on. So I was just like, yeah, let's just jump full force in. Let's create some books to read to her. Let's stay in bed if we have to all day and let's make the best of it. My Italian grandpa, it's my stepfather, has been a huge impact in my life, raised me. And he comes over and just plays so many games with her where she's taking his glasses. So I really incorporated her through a lot of my stories. And so, yeah, like you said, it's just so great to be able to sit in bed and, if God gave us that type of life, we're going to make the best of it. You know what I mean? So, and I think we're doing great, but it sometimes does feel like a loss because I'm not out there at, regular soccer games or, just typical normal stuff to be completely honest. But so I get the where you kind of feel more comfortable at home doing your own thing at home rather than getting anybody else involved. It's just really hard. So just creating a world that we can just love. And I'm not proud of it, but I'm a little bit of an introvert. So I find it pretty easy to write books and read to her at home. I'm here because I am a great caretaker, to be completely honest. I've my whole life, my mom passed away from ALS. I took care of her before she passed. My brother had this traumatic brain damage where, I had to take care of him too. So it's just kind of my gift of caretaking. But I sometimes like would get like, why is this me? Why is this, and now I look at it as what else can I do to help her? How can I show someone that just saw my social media posts that it's okay, we're gonna get through this. And I like this. I've been reading the Bible a little bit more, and this too shall pass is huge for even in the most positive situations. You have to appreciate it, because good things do pass as well. And I really love that. And bad things do pass. The seizures, they pass. We get back to playing, we get back to writing. And I just think that's why I'm here to show her. And, I'm a huge advocate in the special needs area. So I do think that's another reason, like, I, was gifted her. I can do this too. I can write a book, or, like maybe my kiddo is something special. Maybe I can paint a picture of her, or maybe, maybe you don't even have to go to that level of like having to do something, but, just the appreciation of your kiddo in any form. So I will tell you, I do take big breaks from social media here and there. It's just not like, I don't know. I used to share a lot about my life, and I realized what am I doing here? So then I just kind of started just sharing about my books, and my husband has a podcast, and we're just kind of starting to do stuff like that. But on my social media, you can always just head over to my website and find my books and things like that. Yeah, I'm not huge on saving the world through social media, but I feel like just you can just do it. There's like no rules besides margins and stuff like that. But other than that, just write from your heart. And I think the biggest thing is the best writing that I read is when someone writes something about something they know, and then go from there. I've started right now, I'm writing a fiction book of a whole new world. It's an adult book. So I'm really challenging myself there. And I've thought, I'm only a children's book writer, but now I'm like, you know what? No, why not? I'm gonna write this fantasy world for everyone else to know what I think, So here, I just think, just do it. Just go for it. Yeah, the publishing, I guess, would probably be the hardest. I started out with a whole publishing company and everything, and we were not seeing eye to eye. And so I decided, forget this. I just learned as much as I could in all the meetings. I absorbed it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. I don't need these people. I don't need to talk to 11 people every day for my 24-page children's book, So I just got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and I did it. But so if there was anything, the challenge that I did have was the margins, getting it able to send it in, and so it could actually be read. Other than that, like if they just had a simple program for that, then that would have stopped me. Like, but then again, I wouldn't have learned all these other things all these different footnotes and all these different prefaces, all these things I'm learning, on my own, and just going after it. And I'm just like this urge to like no more. So if it was just right there at my fingertips, I don't know. I think I would start a program and say, go for it yourself. It's free, like have them sign up and they're like, what? Like just something like that. Because I just feel like we all rely too much on not challenging ourselves to figure it out. When it's really, especially nowadays, everything's out there for you to figure it out. So my biggest thing would be just do it. You got to do it. I was a big on Google, huge on Google, on Reddit, reading everyone else's fails and going from there, taking some notes. On Amazon, they have a whole program where you can go and read through all the tips and the tricks and stuff like that. Canva was huge of what I use for all my illustration and stuff. And I watched a couple YouTubes, and the next thing I was 3 books down. I was like, Oh my gosh, look at me. I've been artistic and I've always had the earn or the yearn to want to learn more. So that comes easy for me, I guess. But yeah, I had never like done all this kind of digital art ever. And I just watched a couple YouTubes and that was it. So I was using my iPad a lot, which if I was going to do more, if I was going to do harder artwork, I probably would have gotten one of the little drawing pads. But I was able to really just use my iPad and my little pen. And then a lot of the stuff too, I was just on my computer using like my mouse drawing stuff at first. And some of my artwork got better and better as the books came on.